jangling.
Welcome to Sad Dad's Club podcast.
Episode 54. If my fingers are working correctly.
Right. We had to carry the 1 and divide by 0, and we got to 54.
Well, it was a binary. I think we had to convert it from binary.
And it was a fraction.
That's always a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fraction with a decimal in it. Have you seen those?
What? No. So Zander came oddly. Okay. I'm the foo.
I'm Jim.
He's Jim. So we got a fraction.
A fraction with a decimal in it.
Xander came home. So
oh no, not the math.
Oh yeah, he came home with this slip of paper. It was about like the size of a small envelope, and he is like getting like awkward, like weird faced about something as he comes up to the counter. And we're all in.
Okay.
It's just after school, and he says, one of you will have to sign this twice because I have to have 3 people over the age of 18 who haven't been in my teacher's math class sign this.
One of you will have to sign this twice?
And we went, what? It's so fucking bizarre. It's like, what? Okay. What is it? It's like a permission slip to somewhere? And he goes, well, I have to read it to you. He's like, has anyone here been in, I can't remember the name of the teacher, been in some's class? And Venus and I are like, no, we have not.
We didn't even go to that school.
Yeah, not even close. And he goes, okay, I have to read you this rap about fractions math.
Oh, boy.
And then you have to sign that I did it.
Oh, my God. That's
read
hilarious.
it to you. And he was getting like...
Wait, he needed 3 signatures? Because, he has to read it to 3 adults?
Apparently so.
Oh, well, bring him on out.
That couldn't have been in the teacher, her class.
Okay.
So...
I'll sign that
He's
shit.
like getting queasy or whatnot about having to read this absolutely cringy verse about math and fractions. So he...
Did you give him a beat at least?
No.
He would be like, hey, all right, let's do this.
I could tell he was struggling, so I'm like, I tell you what, buddy, here's what I'll do. If you read it, then I will read it, and then you know, if you're embarrassed about you, just imagine how embarrassed.
It's not that big of a deal.
Well, because it was cringy. If they had said it was a poem.
Well, of course it's cringy. It's for math.
Right.
It's a learning thing.
So he reads this thing. One, it was not a rap in any form of the sense.
Did it just have like rhymes in it or something?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like
poem-ish.
It was terrible.
All right.
It was fucking terrible.
Sorry,
but
whatever your name is.
He read it.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole last line, it had an exclamation point in it.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Eminem's probably like, you don't exclamation point anyway.
Well, you do if you're making a point.
So he did it, and then I read it, and I'm just like, yeah, I hate my life for having done that, for taking part, because it was so bad. But it was funny to see.
That is very cringy. I mean, but
it was like
for points.
I don't even remember, but yes, it was like the first line.
I probably would have just said, "Hey, will you just sign this?" You know what I mean?
Well. Now I'm a happy dad because I made my son do it.
Well, that's
true. Read me the math rap.
No. I don't mean if I was a student, I would have been like, just sign it.
No,
just friggin' sign this.
Yeah, but in this house, we'll make you go through the cringe.
Okay. Well, no, that's totally worth it.
Yeah, mom or dad might cringe with you.
Yeah.
Just to make it go through, but no, you're gonna have to deal with the pain.
Well, I think, that makes it less painful.
Yeah, you split it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So you read it, we signed it, and then we made Piper sign it because she had to deal with it too. And we're like, listen, if your teacher is going to actually go through and card everyone that signs this, I'll eat my hat.
This is my 19-year-old sister.
Yeah.
It's her 4th year as a senior.
I guarantee you she didn't have her for math. We're okay.
Yeah.
And she was in the room. She is a witness.
Yeah.
We're good.
That's pretty funny.
Anyway.
But I want to know what the rap is. You got me like hanging on the thread here.
Okay, wait.
Oh, you actually have it.
I'll just bring it.
Damn.
No, I'll. We need the math rap. We need the math
technology
rap.
Right there.
Please.
Yeah, because I don't think we can't even finish this podcast if we don't have that rap now. Our listeners need to know what this is.
Yeah, send a Zander out for Minecraft.
All 6 of them.
So we're also going to have Zander come out because we know that from last night, or is it 2 nights back?
Oh, yeah.
Mike also tried Minecraft.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
Which reminds me I got to download that.
Yeah. Because it'd be interesting to see if we can make it work crossways. Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
So did you bring the MathRap out?
We need the MathRap.
We need the MathRap. You're not doing that?
Zander raps, yo.
That's not the part.
You don't have to read the rap. I'm reading the rap.
We just need the...
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to read it.
It's okay if Daddy...
That's how cringy it is. He won't even read it.
Oh, no. He ain't going to do it twice.
Oh, my gosh.
He's like working on trying to get his
Dude, we will put some stank on that
middle
shit.
school clout.
You know what I
on
mean?
Anyway.
We can pop up with GarageBand, put a beat down. We could just... That'll be the new Sad Dads Club
just cut it
podcast
up.
intro music.
Yeah. Multiply, flip it, and drop it.
Exactly.
Okay, so here...
Well, he's here now, so let's let him do his...
Okay, so we need 3 off the top of your head Minecraft recipes to prove that you are the Minecraft Lord. Are you ready?
I've heard a lot about your Minecraftiness.
Specific things. Did I just say what specific materials?
Give me a tool, an armor piece, and an edible.
All right.
Ready?
You got to speak into the mic.
You got to speak right into there. Ready, go.
For a sword, you need a stick and 2 of the materials you want. It can be wood, iron, stone, gold, or diamond. And then for a chest piece, you want just whatever material you want, except wood. Wood or stone isn't an armor piece.
Okay.
And then for a food, you put 3.
Tell me how to make a cake.
A cake you need.
Speak right here.
You need wheat, eggs, sugar, and milk.
Do you have to make a farm to get wheat?
Yes.
Oh.
Or you can steal it from villagers.
The cake doesn't need any gold or sticks?
No.
Oh. That's disappointing.
Yes, it is.
Why? What was the first one that you said?
A sword.
A sword. So you have to have gold?
You
And-
can if
You
you
can
want.
make it out of different
Because
types.
gold is a very soft metal.
Yes, it does It does good damage.
Yeah.
It does good damage.
But it doesn't last very long.
Yeah, it doesn't last very long.
So you can use different materials to make swords other than gold then. Other metals. Okay.
And then diamond.
Oh, and diamond. That would make it really
Stone
hard.
and wood.
So do you just make diamond dust swords?
No, you get diamond gems from the ore.
Okay. And then how do you what's the process you take to make the diamond part of the sword? He's like, wait a sec.
Yeah,
What?
How do you get diamonds?
You have to mine down. I forgot how far down, but pretty far down.
It might be the only thing
Is
Angie
this-
knows off the top of her
Is this
head.
close to the lava where you get the
I
diamonds?
think so.
Okay.
Yes, and then it's little blue specks, and you need an iron pickaxe.
If
to
you don't
break
have
it.
the right pickaxe, you can't get the diamonds?
Right.
Oh my god.
It'll be super slow to break, and then even when you do break it, you don't,
You don't get
the
the stuff. You have to break it with the
with anything higher than an iron.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to get into this game and I'm not going to have any idea what I'm doing.
Haha. That's
You
why
have-
you need the Minecraft Lord.
I know, I'm going to have to put him in Hangouts and be like, yo, I just need to eat some food. What do I
found
need
a
to
sheep.
do?
What do I do with it?
Punch it to death.
I know the answer to that one, Foo.
Yeah, hey. All right. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You shear the sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Wow. So that was it. All right, so let's hit this
Okay, so
here's the crazy math rap.
dividing fractions rap. It's
Oh my
it's
gosh.
not a poem or a sonnet. It is actually written on here, dividing fractions rap.
Is it just a half a piece of paper?
Yeah, it's like a small.
Okay, good. That's pretty short, so I'm
Oh
happy
yeah,
about that.
this is quick
That's three lines. He's like worried about reading
because
3
it's
lines.
cringy as fuck.
All right, let's hear it.
Dividing by a fraction, you get a lot of action. What? You flip what follows the division sign and change it to a multiply. Simplify if you can. Multiply it out. Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's pretty cringy.
The-
That's
Right?
I mean, at least they're trying.
I mean, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know, in here, I'm notorious, like, having gone through Piper and some of these, like, some of her social studies and science stuff. I'm really good at finding, like, a mnemonic or
something that makes
something
it stick.
to attach to something else to help you memorize a thing,
Sure.
a mimetic or something like that, or mnemonic.
All right.
One of those. I'm sure Will knows. He'll correct us in 3 weeks when he listens. Hashtag hi Will. Hashtag we love you.
That's how far behind he is?
No, I think he's pretty close.
Oh, okay.
I'm good at that to help make those attachments. You know, Venus studies her different way, and we've had this discussion before where we each have our own study patterns. For me,
Yeah.
I'll usually create something to help me attach the study objects to a thing, and then, you know, remember, you know.
Dude,
Anyway.
I was the worst at studying because
That is not one of the methods to studying that I would use.
I just went headlong into stuff and like didn't know what I was doing ever.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea how to study.
You graduated, though, so it worked.
Well, I also enjoyed going to school. I mean, after I got out of high school, I actually enjoyed college, but didn't finish. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I didn't finish either, so there's no shocker.
But, like, I hated high school. I got into college and was like, oh, I can take whatever classes I want.
That's what's weird about, you know, because I think that was it.
Yeah,
it was
you
like,
got to pick.
I have to take these
I'm
things.
paying for them, so now they're important kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was different. You know,
So-
when you got to, when you had to pay for the thing,
Yes.
and if you didn't enjoy it, well, then it was shit.
Yeah. Well, I remember even like I took some poli-sci class, and it was like in my first semester, and the teacher was kind of hardcore.
Yeah.
She was, I mean, you could tell she knew her shit, but man, she like, I mean, I'm thinking about her now, right? She made an impression. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
In
Kinda
a good way or
interesting.
bad way?
Why I was afraid of her, but in a in a good way. She made me think about shit in a way that I really hadn't thought about stuff, and like I didn't care when I was in high school. Like I just did whatever I could do to get by.
I think that was part of the headbutting that I had with the first semester of college for me. It was like I took what would probably be equatable to high school, like GE stuff. Like get the requirement stuff
Yeah.
done and over with, and then you spend the next 2-3 years taking your electives towards whatever it is your degree required you to do. So I had like,
Well, no one
a
ever
math-
explained it to me like that. It was like, you take your electives. Well, what do you want to take? I don't know.
Yeah, and at that
photography?
point, I had no idea what I was doing as a major. It was
Yeah.
just like, you go to school, and now
Yeah.
you know, take the requirements, and then you work on your electives towards your major. What's your major? Fucking, I just wrote something in the field. I don't even know what that is.
Right.
Like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So I had those things from high school that were just like, this is boring to me. I have no interest, you know, and I would pass these things, and I would do well in school because, you know, I had nothing else to do. I certainly wasn't involved with ladies, and I didn't have a lot of money to go do stuff.
Well, Foo, what are you doing tomorrow? I don't know. I mean, school's there.
Probably social studies.
And I guess I'll get up and
Yeah.
I'll go to school.
I could walk to the bus.
They sent me a schedule,
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm doing.
I guess I'll do that.
So it just got draining and boring fast, and then the fact that I was paying for it was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm done. This is boring. And I think in my second semester, because I had bombed so bad in the first semester, I was taking, it was like magic, witchcraft, and religion.
Oh, wow.
And I think
Okay.
that was it.
That was your only class?
I think that was it.
You had 3 units?
Yeah, and it was like, well, I'm paying for it, and I don't really care about doing anything else because I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm like, well, I have to take this thing and I have to stay in school because otherwise I'll have to pay back these loans for the first semester.
didn't think about
So,
Yeah.
magic, witchcraft, and religion.
Wow.
It was a good class. It was like one of those things. It was like, oh, pay attention. And it wasn't until I think I took a semester off because I had to pay bills and get a job and pay for rent and pay for a car. That
Gas.
when I started going to a JC and being able to pick the courses that interested me.
Yeah.
There was a human anatomy course and the philosophy course.
What's nice about the JC is it's not like you're leveraging all the money.
Right. And
for
psychology
a semester.
Course. Like all of those things were like, it was like mind candy. Like, I love it. I love all of these topics. I enjoy paying for these. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was crazy for me, like, because everybody was like, "Oh, I got to take the SATs and the PSATs and the blah blahs and the ACTs," and I was like, "I'm going to JC. My grades are shit. Like, I got like a 2.1 grade point average. I don't care. Yeah. I'm just gonna go to JC anyway." I just like opted out on all the fucking test taking shit. I was like, I'm done. I'm not gonna do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't have any idea what I even would have got on the SATs.
Those big score things.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a parent, you could just buy yourself onto the rowing team.
And get arrested.
Update there. So we have.
Yeah.
So the one Felicity is. It wasn't a lot of jail.
She got like 14 days. I think.
14 days,
something like that.
I saw one dad. And he got.
Oh yeah.
He got more.
He what was his?
I've seen two. One was a yacht, and one was a tennis.
I forgot what he did for his kid, but they put him into a team or something that he wasn't.
Yeah,
supposed to be
there was a tennis team and another like a boating of some sort. I thought, and we have not seen yet.
Well, because she's fighting it, right? So,
right. Well, she pled not guilty.
Yeah.
Whereas I think these other three parents
were like, "Yep,
guilty."
Yeah.
How can we get through this?
Which is crazy because they know if you're pleading guilty, they know you fucked up.
Right.
So you're going to get a little bit of leniency from the court versus the court knows you fucked up, and if you're going to plead not guilty, the hammer's going to come down on you. So
you would hope so.
Whatever that chick's name is,
Lori Loughlin.
Yes, she has a lot to lose if she.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hope it's everything in the kitchen sink, because
yeah,
you want to be able to. You want to have the expectation as a commoner that everyone's held to the same set of rules.
Nope.
And if you get to that point to where you go, hey, I know I did a thing, but through legalities and loopholes and exceptions, not guilty will end up still being not guilty, and I'm going to get a slap on the wrist and a fine.
Well,
some point you're going to see me in a fluorescent vest picking up trash, and I get away scot-free.
I think that she is trying to say that she didn't know. I mean,
this is just what rich people do.
A donation or whatever, and I didn't know where it was going, and that's bullshit.
It's
You're not going to go to that guy who's has done this for other people under the guise of just a donation.
Right. I mean, how do you get that far? If you're
absolutely.
Right,
yeah,
you're just a high school parent. It's like, well, how do you even get that far to that communication channel to be like,
you are a parent that said at some point, I'm worried about my daughter getting into school. She needs to go to blah, blah, UCLA.
How do I make sure that happens?
How do I make sure that happens? And you have now talked to people.
Right.
And someone has finally come and said, oh, there's this guy. What? Oh.
Right.
And I can just, okay. That's how that goes down. It's not like oh, I just gave $500,000 to this clown.
Right.
And go, oh, it's just a donation. No, you have.
You made a conversation where you knew fucking full well what you were doing right out the gate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the other part of this. We were talking about this, I think, with my father-in-law. Is it different if you are a family that had people go through a specific college and became well-to-do?
Okay.
And the family decides to give back to the school by, I'm going to donate a shitload of money to the school, and they're going to make a building that's got my damn name on it.
Okay.
Now my kids or grandkids are going to be
matriculating.
Yes. Is that better, or is that the
Did
same?
they earn it?
Well, you have donated a crap ton of money to the school.
No.
For a building.
No, they get nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I was like, I could see that more. I mean, you have actually helped the school, right? You have donated your money to the school. You've built a building that they're going to hold classes in or whatever it is. That I could see more than this other situation where the parents just went and paid some dude to like finagle stuff.
So I could see that as a reasonable, like a giving of thanks to the experience and the education that each one of those persons who has earned their way and graduated as a, hey, this is me giving back for the experience and the stuff that I learned while I was here. And that's, I think that's the most honorable and the honest way to do that. But the expectation that those that came before you who earned their way and have given back should grease the wheels in any way for those that are coming into it, that's a no-no. Because everyone has to earn their way, right? That's my perspective. Everyone from start to finish has to earn it.
Well, yeah. I mean, so you're saying they didn't earn it in the sense that Grandpa like donated a crap ton of money to help the school. They didn't earn that.
That's Grandpa. That's Grandpa saying, I made my life's earnings and my life's occupation off the education I got here.
Yeah.
Thank you, UCLA.
That's true.
Here's money towards the library.
Yeah.
It has benefited me and my family. I'm in great appreciation. To then say that gives you a card that says, by the way, my granddaughter
could use a little bit of help getting into school.
She's,
but or that's happening. That's happening. And I think that's way more acceptable than the other route for sure. I mean, I could see that being, I mean, I'm not saying that it's necessarily right, obviously, but it's more acceptable. At least they've like put effort into the school. They've given back.
I think if you were to create shades of gray where there's acceptability,
there always is gray.
Right.
Nothing's black and white.
I think that would be, I would not disagree that is a more acceptable method of greasing the wheels.
Yeah.
Well, do I like it? No, because I am not afforded currently in my state of economic space.
Yeah.
I am not afforded that opportunity to grease the wheels for my kids. So I have to hold the expectations.
Well, even say if you were a graduate of Chico, you know, if you couldn't grease the wheel, you're still at that situation. Even if you were a graduate, you'd still be like, well, good luck. I hope you get in.
I would
you know what I mean?
And I think that's just the way. I think that creates the character that you want in your kids.
And the other part of that is they funneled money into the situation in a way that bypassed all the normal stuff.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
To land their daughter into a school that they had no business being there anyway.
Right.
Where other people who worked probably way harder,
right,
got bumped out.
Yes.
Which is really fucking lame.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most jarring part of all that.
Yeah. And, you know.
But I mean,
is it going to change? I mean, that gets into like one of the most macro types of like existential questions. Like, well, does it matter? Probably
to somebody.
To somebody, yes. But in the large scheme of things, is this probably just one pinpoint of a shady way that people of privilege find a way to skirt some of the systems?
Oh, well,
I'm sure it is.
What was the other thing that got brought up like a week or two ago, which was the well-to-do families were signing over the rights of their kids to not well-to-do families to get school paid for them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
yes.
What?
Yes, it was to relinquish your parental rights to
somebody else,
like a custodian or to a guardian.
Yeah.
So that way your familial income wasn't represented, so your kids could get scholarships.
Which is really screwed because as a middle-class American, I am told constantly by my kids who are college age now and both going to school that I make too much money, which is laughable.
Right.
That they can't get FAFSA money, they can't get this or that. Scholarships are difficult for them to get because I make too much money. Well, the sad part of that reality is,
who's that guy? Because I don't know him either. Right? You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, the sad part of that is if you look at my income over time, it took me a while to get where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I had a ton of money coming up to where I'm at now. And even now, I wouldn't consider myself to have a ton of money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
help my kids out, fuckers, because you got me in the wrong bracket.
Yeah, your standards are fucking way too low or high. I'm not even sure which one it is.
Right.
But fuck. Like, really? That's where we're at now, where it's like they can't get any help because I make too much money. And it's like, no, I don't live in a big house. I don't have... Well,
yeah, you're under a budget.
Yeah,
I mean, you do your best.
I don't, we don't take lavish vacations. I mean, there's all these things, right? And it's like I'm doing everything I can, but still, it's not enough to make sure that I can pay for their school,
right? Certainly not enough to where I feel I would be a non-applicant to financial aid, right? Yeah. And that's it.
Well, your kids will have the same problem.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
We've
discussed this already in whatever pre-council class stuff or Venus has talked about. It's like we make too much.
Yeah.
Like
it is. Yeah.
I'm like
it's hard. It's hard to fathom. Really,
I'm like already like contemplating like, well, where are my second job options? Because. That's a fucking lie. That's bullshit. But so I'm already like, well, how am I going to make those ends meet? Because,
well, I mean,
that's not true.
That's part of it though too. Is should the parents be expected to burden the cost of your children going to college? I mean, they're adults now, right? It's their decision to go to college. They should go to college,
right?
But it's their decision to go to college. I mean, we help out as much as we can with all kinds of different stuff. Not necessarily paying for school, and loans are kind of the accepted part of it.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you hear something like my daughter who's like, oh, I can graduate early. And we're like, bonus. I mean, that's just less money you have to loan or borrow.
Right.
So, I mean, there's that whole thing. It's just crazy to think like, oh, sorry. Yeah. You just make too much money. And,
you're like, I drive a Honda.
Well,
my wife drives a Honda.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I drive a Cadillac now, but I just bought it.
Well,
it's not like I bought it new.
You make too much money. If you make enough money to buy a fucking Caddy,
I guess so.
Way to go, butthead.
See, that's the problem. I make too much money.
God damn. You're a spoiled 1%er.
No, that's not the case. Not the case at all. But yeah, that's frustrating. It is really frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, I think looking back at my parents made probably, given inflation, way more money than I made, But I paid for all my school myself. I worked and went to school.
We were middle class, and my parents, my dad at the time was just like, file for scholarships.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
If you want to go to school, file for scholarships.
Yeah.
Was pretty much
take loans, file for scholarships.
That's what it was.
Grants, whatever it is.
Yeah,
you can get.
Grants and scholarships. Do it.
Yeah.
Make the essays. Write the essays. Ted over.
Oh yeah, he got a really nice grant. Or whatever.
That's what it was. There was no. I didn't have money from Dad to go, but it was like, well, that's where I need to go. So all that was on me to figure out how to make it work.
Well, they have they're not 401ks, but they're like 401ks, but for school.
Yeah.
I don't know, a 525 or a 5.
Oh.
I forget what it's called, but it's a savings plan that's pre-tax kind of savings plan. Like you put money into it out of your check to put away for college.
Oh.
And then when the kids are college age, I didn't even know this existed until
no, I have
probably
no idea
a year
what
and
you're
a half
talking
ago. But you put the money away, and then it's like a 401k. It grows kind of like an IRA. And then in theory, they would have money. You're supposed to start this when their kids are little.
Oh, yeah, tiny.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing.
So we get, it's at this point, because we're in the middle of the road as far as income. We've told grandparents, like, the kids have what they need. And oftentimes, most of the time, my dad will actually say, he'll just write a check for like birthdays and Christmas, and he'll just say, please put this in the savings account or put it in the college account.
Yeah.
Because,
and then you like cash it and put it in your wallet.
Right. I'm like, well,
rainy day fund.
I could really use the new i9, or a new iPencil or some shit. Who knows what.
Daddy needs a new computer.
Yeah. And my dad's like,
thanks, Dad.
Come Piper being 18. He's like, how much is that college account? I'd be like, $4.95.
Hold on. Let me finish editing this video on the new Mac I just bought.
Ooh, this thing is fast.
Yeah.
How'd you pay for it? College Piper account. All right.
There you go.
Yeah. So we've made that work, but I didn't know about. I don't know if it goes into account that specific.
Yeah, it's. Savings account's one thing, but this is like a actual, like, for college, like federally known kind of thing.
Yeah.
And in fact, my manager at work was telling me that they have an account for each of their kids. I'm like, yeah,
that's a good idea, though.
You're a lot younger than I am.
So is it kind of like a function like a trust where you can't really take anything out of it until college?
It's sort of like a HSA, right?
Okay.
Where you can only use it for things to pay for school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of a thing. And I don't know what the tax implications are as far as all that kind of stuff, but I know they exist, and I know it's specifically for students, so you would have one for each. I don't think so. I don't know.
I'll have to ask my wife.
Yeah,
see what
I don't know.
knows.
I was surprised to hear about it because I was like, it made me feel like, oh damn, I could have been putting money into this. Like, I would have put something into it,
Right. Well, yeah.
If I, whatever I could have put in there, I would have. But it was like, shit, I didn't even know these were a thing.
Well, and two, so to go back to the, the college part. So now at this point in California, we have the, if Piper and Zander both choose to do the JC currently, is it 1 year or 2 years? It's your first
JC would be a 2 year.
Your first 2 years are paid for through the state. Or is it first 1 year? That's where I was going.
It's the first year.
So your first year of school
is free.
Free through the state.
And that was another one where it was like Chandler was like, "Oh, that's great. That's free now."
I just passed this.
I just went through the JC, and that wasn't a thing for me.
Yeah.
Of course, Melanie didn't use it. Oh, okay, it's a 529 plan. Is what it's a college saving plans that offers tax and financial aid benefits. 529 plans may also be used to save and invest for K through 12 tuition, and in addition to college costs. There are two types of 529s: college savings plans and prepaid tuition plans. So, I didn't even know this was a thing.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. You have time now. I mean, sometime.
Probably more for Zander than for Piper, but
yeah,
some is better than none. I'll talk to Venus.
It's a 529 plan. So look that up. So, yeah, I didn't know. It was like, do you have a 529? I'm like, what's a 529? I didn't even know that was really? And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, we don't have any of that.
I got that look earlier over the weekend.
I don't know.
And then this afternoon when I asked the kids what a phone book was.
You know what's crazy about phone books is they still deliver them to the house.
I have not had one in a while, so I didn't know. Are they still delivering them?
We've gotten one, I want to say, in the last 6 months.
I don't know the last.
Thick-ass book right onto the driveway, and my wife and I'll be like, really?
Yeah.
Like,
so we were in the back over the weekend. We were burning stuff in the fireplace, the campfire spot. And I'm like, I need you to rip up this the cardboard, put it in there, and then we'll burn some of the sticks that have fallen from the trees. So she's working through, and she's trying to rip the cardboard, and she's getting into smaller and smaller pieces. And I'm like, you go get a razor. She's like, I didn't want you to think I was like not strong to be able to rip it by hand. I'm like, I don't care fucking how you rip it. Just make it into small spikes and put it.
Your daughter's a weakling.
Yeah. I'm like, fucking, there's no like strength test here. This wasn't some sort of like benchmark on where your strength and endurance was.
Yeah.
We're having a laugh. I'm having a laugh about it. I don't know if she was. So then I walk off, and I'm like, people can. I've seen videos of people ripping phone books, and she's like, a what? And then with a phone book, she's like, what? It's like
the big book they put next to the phone
with all the
numbers.
All the numbers are in it.
There's white pages and yellow pages.
She's like, well, how does that happen? And she's like, well,
how does that happen?
They get it like weak, and then they tear it.
Yeah.
And anyway, I got one kid, and then this afternoon we were. So Venus and I went to the store. We got milk, and Zander had brought in the gallon of milk. And as I walk into the kitchen, he's struggling to try and figure out how to get the milk on the top shelf, which is where we put the milk. And he's like, "It won't fit. There's something else in the way." And I went, "Well, you just got to move the juice around. It's like Tetris, or like a tower game."
He's like, "What's?"
And he looks at me and he goes, "Dad, I know what Tetris is."
Oh, that's
and
hilarious.
I go, "Do you know what a phone book is?" And he goes, "A what?" And I went, "Bam, bitch, that's right."
That's hilarious.
Like,
what's a phone book? Think about the absurdity of phone books.
And Piper comes down the hall. She's like, "I know what a phone book is."
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, yeah.
Think about the absurdity. This book that you get that's regional, that has every fucking name and phone number listed in it.
Right. You're concerned about doxing now?
Yeah.
Guess what?
Oh, yeah.
Guess what? They used to give phone numbers out and addresses and names for free.
In a book that you could carry with you. And a lot of times they had people's addresses in them, too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's
Plus,
crazy.
That was just the white pages part. The yellow pages had all the businesses and the ads. Remember that?
AAA plumbing. AAA plumbing.
Yeah.
AA plumbing. AA. Fuck, everyone took all the A's.
Yeah, just so they could be first in the phone book. So funny. Yeah, that's crazy to think about that stuff.
Yeah.
And think about how many trees were
that's a lot
made into phone books.
That's
crazy, right? I mean, you're talking.
Now I'm struggling because I
3.5
remember
inches
kind of
thick,
getting
easy.
down here. The phone books were a lot smaller, but the phone books up in Grass Valley they were thick.
Really?
Yeah. Because it covered like a huge area.
Well, I mean, I think the phone books at my parents' house in Fair Oaks were pretty big because it was like Sac County kind of thing or whatever. So it covered a pretty large, because it was Pac Bell.
Yeah.
So it covered a large area. But that's crazy.
I totally remember flipping through the yellow pages.
Well, remember you go to a payphone. You guys know what that is, a fucking payphone? You go to a payphone, and they had the phone books hanging below.
Oh, yeah.
And it had the plastic covers on it so they didn't get wet. And then you had to, hold it up with your fucking thigh.
I need, towing.
Yeah. Exactly. Where's my dime so I can pay for this call? Hey, can I have a dime? Do you have a dime?
Do we have a change? I have to call my mom and tell her to come pick me up.
Just call or collect. We already talked about
that.
Yeah. I'm ready to be picked up. Would you accept the charges from I'm ready to be picked up? No.
No. Click. All
right, we got to go pick up your brother.
Yeah. Message received.
Exactly. You didn't even talk to her. That's hilarious. Anyway. So did you do anything good this weekend?
I did.
What?
I went up to my dad's because we need the truck because we've got yard work and whatnot to do where I need the truck.
Yeah. I might have to borrow the truck from you.
You can borrow the truck.
If you have it here.
Yeah. I'm going to have it for a bit because he's down south for high school reunion.
Well, I have an old fridge I need to get rid of.
Okay.
And it might fit in the CRV. It may not.
If you want it this weekend.
Are you going to be using it?
No, because Saturday I have an event or a thing with Angie, and then Sunday I have a race.
Oh, your race is Sunday?
No, it's like a half marathon thing.
Okay.
It's like a preparation that fills a gap of a particular mileage.
Okay.
So if you want it this weekend, let me know.
Okay. I'm glad we could plan that for everybody to listen.
Hey, hashtag plans. So I had to go up to my dad's on Sunday to get it. Okay. Obviously you work up there, but the Nevada County air to me is just like
clean.
In the veins kind of thing. Like it smells. It's good times.
Is it like a fire smell, or is it just the clean air?
It's clean air, and then on occasion, if you catch someone's fireplace, it's a thing. But the clean air to me is like it's like an instant clock dial back.
I think with the rain that we had recently, like that clean air is everywhere right now, which is kind of awesome.
Well, I think down here it's a little bit. It smells because there's like a weird pavement thing.
You have a weird pavement thing.
Like it smells awkward off the pavement. It doesn't smell the same.
Oh, I see.
The air is certainly cleaner because
you talking about when it first rains and you get that sort of smell. So that's sort of like the dirty pavement smell,
right? Yeah. And that's different. I think first rain smell is definitely different city than it is up in the country.
Yeah.
But everything certainly was cleaner all around.
Sure.
Yeah, I could tell that like my first run after the rain, it was like it's easier to breathe. Mm-hmm. It feels better. It's cooler. It's like it's a good time.
You said you went up there
Sunday.
Okay.
So we were up there Sunday and didn't spend a lot of time because my dad had a game. But we walked up in the upper. It's like something I do. I just walk up into his upper pasture. So he lives on 10 acres.
Did you find the sheep that you were looking for?
There was no sheeps. We found a new his tenant, his rental tenant.
Just deflect that one.
Yeah. Well, I'll get there because his tenant had a small dog.
Okay.
Which was sheep-like.
Oh, okay.
Actually, not in any way. But it was named Kal-El.
Kal-El. Okay.
Kal-El. So do you get the reference?
No.
Okay, so Kal-El is Superman's Krypton name.
Oh, I would have never known that.
Right. Okay. So with the dog, so my dad's tenant,
all right,
is a woman that survived the Paradise Fire.
Oh, okay.
She stuck it out apparently. I think he said that she had lost like a toe or something because she stayed up there, through the thick.
So she lost her house.
She lost her house.
Mm-hmm.
Funny story about that. Insurance in Nevada County, everyone's getting, when it comes
booted.
up for renewal, everyone gets booted.
Yep. You know what it is all the insurance companies are like,
nope, not worth it. Well,
they're like, well, we have too many people in this area.
Right.
So if a fire comes and rages through all these places,
and
we're screwed.
Right.
So we're going to drop X%.
Right. My dad was not booted shady-like.
Okay.
They did it well within their thing. It's like when his policy came up for renewal.
He wasn't dropped shady. He was just dropped.
When his policy came up for renewal, they went, oh, Nevada County? Sorry.
We're not renewing that.
No thanks.
So he has to go with another carrier.
Yeah, so he had to figure out another option for his.
There are other options, but the pricing up there has gone up quite a bit.
And he was also saying that real estate in general is like to sell or buy is wonky because people can't get fire insurance as well. So
that's putting people in flux.
Right, in awkward places. So he has a tenant that's from Paradise.
Okay.
And she had a small dog named Kal-El. So when my dad told me, he's like, oh, yeah, that's Kal-El. And I went, oh, Superman's name. And I could see in my dad's face the moment where he was like waiting for, did you know it was Superman's name?
Oh, that's hilarious. And he was like,
yeah, and it was like a record scratch. It was like, because he went, it's Kal-El. And I went, oh, Superman's name. And he went,
oh, he knew, damn it.
Yeah. Shit, well, there goes the cool part of the...
Well, I was hoping to share that with somebody.
Yeah. Anyway. So we walked to his upper pasture, and my dad's all through... me as a young man, so I'm talking like 7 years old till 22, left the house.
Okay.
My dad has tried to grow
weed.
Yeah, weed. Grow stuff in the upper pasture.
Okay, like what kind of stuff? Weed?
Yeah, like weed. Well, it's Nevada County. I think everybody's trying to grow weed in Nevada County.
So the lady that's the tenant, she's a trimmigrant?
Yeah.
All right.
Trying to grow, I think his retirement plan was grapes.
Okay.
To sell.
So like wine grapes?
Wine grapes.
Okay.
And we had spent probably the early part of my 20s, actually, I don't know, he spent a lot of money in getting grapes, and then we planted them through the course of a summer one year. And the deer absolutely, I mean, he probably had 80% loss.
Really?
Through the deer. Not through weather, not through climate, not through just the soil.
Deer coming and eating.
Deer came and eat. Just absolutely just.
So the only
terrible
problem with that is you got to fence it, and they have to be tall fences.
Right, and we had a normal fence, but not. So he spent maybe a year to 3 years trying to adapt a fence to keep the deer out, to keep what was remaining, but it never took.
How much? How many acres of grapes?
There's probably, up in the upper pasture, he probably had 4 acres of grapes. It was a significant investment for him.
He couldn't fence it, basically.
It was fenced, but because we didn't have it like deer fenced, like high 8 foot plus, the first year of loss happened at normal fence. So then he was trying to abate, his 20% that remained from. He was just trying to keep that.
Whatever he could.
And that was like an ebb and flow. By then, he had started making changes to the fence height and electrifying the fence and whatnot.
That's rough.
But it was a loss. It was a loss. It was a straight-up loss.
Now, speaking of that, there's a property after you go. You don't go this way, I don't think. But after you go on 49, you come up to Combi, and you go up the hill and down the hill.
Yeah.
And you go, after you come down the hill, it goes to the right and then comes back to the left. There's a bridge.
Okay.
And then you kind of go uphill from there.
Yes.
On the left side, the west side, there's a piece of property that I've been watching them sort of work on now for a couple of months. It looked like it was just going to be a cul-de-sac, because they kind of had this thing, and there was a circle at the top, and I was like, oh, are they going to put houses in there? That's kind of crazy, because it's a big open pasture.
Okay.
Then, all of a sudden, like maybe month and a half ago, there were a bunch of trucks out there working, and I was like, oh, what are they doing? Well, over the course of the next few days, they're putting grape things in.
Oh, yeah.
And they're stringing the strings across with the posts on the ends that are, like, holding it up.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got several rows now of grapes, and they have now plants in there. So they've got the actual grape plants are all planted.
Yeah.
And now they're building a building next to all the stuff, almost like it's going to be a winery, which
there you go.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, you get a lot of the boutique stuff at this point.
Yeah, well, there's no other extra fencing around it. And they're going to have a similar issue there.
I would imagine.
I mean, I think it takes a while for grapes to start producing fruit. It takes a couple of years.
Yeah.
But so they have time to do that, but that's going to be a problem, I think. If they intend to use that for any kind of winemaking at all.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're going with that sort of facilities from the get-go, they may as well have like someone on site that's like
shooting them,
like a monitor. Yeah, shooting them. Fuck, it's Nevada County. Who gives a fuck?
Well, and maybe they're just ornamental. Maybe it's going to be like a wine tasting place that just has grapes.
Oh, that could be too.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
But there's quite a bit of the grape plants out there. It was kind of surprising. Anyway, so I thought, you're talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, and in my mind going, that place is going to have a problem.
It could be. Yeah. Entirely possible. Yeah. So we're up there looking at the stuff, and at some point, maybe a couple of years back, it's probably more than a couple of years back, he put in pomegranates because deers do not like. They won't eat pomegranate plants.
Okay.
So what he had done with the remainder of his that he had of grapes, he had replaced multiple rows of grapes with pomegranate plants, and then where he had survived grape shoots, he had staggered pomegranates in between to give the grapes a chance, like to guard the grapes.
So did he like do a bunch of research and find this as a solution?
And he had gone through, like I said, he had gone through multiple iterations of trying to put anything up there, whether it was fencing or, he has a dog, so he has deterrents. And like lights and motion stuff and sound things to keep deer away. So he'd gone
around the horn.
Yeah, he had done everything. Finally, he just got to, if I can plant something and get any sort of produce out of this, and it happens to also keep deer away. At this point, the grapes are the whole winery thing or making wine is a non-starter. He's lost so many grape plants at that point. He puts pomegranates in.
Right.
Turns out deer do not like pomegranates.
Okay.
And he has a monster set of pomegranates like all over the place.
And are they taking over the grape area kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
But what it has allowed is that he then put in like 10-ish different types of fruit trees. So he has the fence now. He has pomegranates that deer don't like, fruit trees, and the grapes have finally started to.
Oh.
So the upper pasture is now out of control with all of the things that he has always wanted.
Okay.
And now it's too much.
Oh, so he can't handle it.
Right. So to get the weeding, to make sure that everything now is trellised, the grapes have trellised, and to keep all of the pomegranates pruned appropriately from not overrunning everything else.
The grapes and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks amazing. There is so much green, and it is like, this is the perfect scenario. Like, this is what you want there's no wasted space. Everything is growing. There's fruit and food here to be eaten, and it's too much for one guy.
Oh, absolutely. If it's 4 acres worth,
that's
a lot.
It's a lot. And I'm up there making an asshole comment like, Dad, you should probably take like a pruning class because he is getting so much fruit out of some of his fruit trees that they're snapping the limbs.
Oh, geez.
But with his extracurricular activities with like umpiring Little League and adult men's baseball,
his daytimes are full.
His daytimes are banked.
Jeez.
But it was, you're
just going to have to take the fam up there and make it a family affair.
I totally sold that. I'm like, Dad, next year what you need to do is we'll just have the kids come up here and you give them a segment. And you just say, weed.
This is your acre.
Yeah. Weed. In between all of these grapes, weed.
Now, his goal for the grapes, seeing how he's starting to get fruit and stuff that are protected.
He makes jams.
So he doesn't sell them to somebody?
No, but he has sold the pomegranates.
Okay.
He used to, I don't know if he still does, but there were a couple of years where he sold the pomegranates to SPD.
Okay.
Up in Grass Valley.
Yeah.
Specifically the Nevada City one.
Yeah. I would imagine, too, he could probably get into the briar patch for that.
Probably. I mean, if SPD will buy them, I'm sure. And a lot of that, too,
Well, they love the locally grown stuffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we get, I think I still have, like, jars. So he filters, we get pomegranate juice, and he'll bring down pomegranates. But he's got Asian pears, a number of different types of Asian pears that he's cranking out. I'm like, man, you made it, Dad.
Finally.
You fucking did it. You really fucking did it.
Yeah.
And then, the driving part, when we come back home, I'm like, man, I hate driving up there because I love it so much.
Yeah.
Like the people, the place, the air, the drive, the house. I love
hey,
that,
You're not telling me anything I don't know.
Right.
I go up there every day.
Yeah.
And beyond, actually.
Yeah, well, it's different for work. It's like, I don't know if you enjoy the place like
I don't have the same feels for it as you do. For me, it's one of these things where it's like, oh, it's 4:30, it's time to go. And if I'm there at nighttime or in the evening, it feels wrong because I'm only supposed to be there until a certain time of the day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Early morning up until 4:30, but beyond that, if I'm there afterwards, it has there's a weird just personal, like, I'm not supposed to be here. I should be home or, down the hill.
Yeah.
So that's my...
Like, up there is like one of those, like, lottery places. Like lottery fantasies. It's like, if you won the lottery, what car would you go out and get? Right. Like, what would you do with the money right away? If I won the lottery, I guarantee you I'm on the phone with a real estate agent trying to buy property for my forever home in that place.
You could always buy Joe's house.
Yeah. Yeah. He needs to prune his grapes too, by the way.
Oh, does he?
Oh, yeah.
I know he has some.
Handle your shit, Joe.
How much does he have?
He's got, I think they were all 10-acre parcels, but he's got probably a good 3 to 4 acres.
Oh, he has that much?
That might be generous, but I haven't gone up that spur in some time. But he comes halfway down into one of his pastures.
I don't know how much time he spends out there, if he hires out or what.
Well, he should hire something because he's got work to do.
Is it overgrown?
It looked a little thick, yeah. Like he's not working optimal grapings.
I would think it would be hard to get motivated to do that if you weren't doing anything with the fruit.
Right.
If you were growing it and it was like, I don't have any, I can't, I don't know who to sell it to, or no one wants to buy it, or whatever it was, then your motivation to like do anything with it at that point is very minimal.
I think what might be interesting to that type of industry is a lot like the microbrews. Like wines in general, they may be more, I was going to say sophisticated, but I think it's probably...
not compared to some newer brews, I would say.
Pretentious. Like, well, are these grapes organic? What was in the soil? What was your fertilizer? Did you ever use any type of herbicide?
Yeah.
What is it grafted onto something else? It's like, oh well, we can't have those wines. Or they can't have those grapes.
Well, I think just there's a lot of people that grow grapes that just sell them to whoever it is. Now, I don't know what kind of grapes they have. I mean, there's obviously hundreds of different kinds of grapes. So maybe it's a matter of having the wrong kind of grapes.
Yeah, and my dad doesn't even have like table grapes. It's like wine grapes. Now they're good. Like he's made good jams out of them, but it's like, is your production of grapes enough to actually even?
Because it might even be a situation where he could take some grapes off the things, take them to some wineries, shop them around.
Yeah.
If someone wants, if they like you can have them come fucking harvest all the shit for you. You don't even have to touch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here's my field. I get X dollar, per whatever. I don't even know how you figure that out. But I get whatever it is, and then you take the fruit and make your wine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're
essentially like just subcontracting your space.
You're just growing it for them. Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
Exactly. That's what he should be doing. That will make you money, for sure.
Quite possibly.
But you got to find the right guy that wants that grape, whether or not they do a blend with something else. Right.
We have jokes about the whole pomegranate thing too. It's like you walk into a store and you look at like those Palm Wonderful like things of like pomegranate juice.
Yeah.
It's like, pomegranates like $5 a whack, and we're like,
well, pomegranates
those for free.
I love pomegranate. Now, don't go buy a fruit of pomegranate and try and eat it, because they are, that's
a pain in the ass.
Total ass.
It's not worth it.
But pomegranate flavored things. We have there's these fruit bars that my wife was buying over the summer.
Yeah.
That she got a bunch of them on sale, and one of the flavors is pomegranate. Delicious.
Yeah.
Pomegranate, pom juice, all that shit I love. Pomegranate in my kombucha or whatever. It's delicious. Love that stuff.
Is that the stuff with the bubbles or the niblets?
Yeah, it's like
floating niblets.
Yeah, some of it.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's like tapioca.
No. I don't like the seedy kind.
No.
Just the like the fermented sort of stuff. There was a flavor that was delicious that they got rid of. There's a company called Kavita, and they had a habanero mango flavored kombucha.
Yeah.
With some vodka. Dude.
What?
Yes. No. They don't put vodka in it. You have to add the vodka yourself. But you put a little vodka in there. Oh my gosh, it was off the charts.
What the fuck?
Sadly, and it had a little heat from the habanero, and it had a mango flavor. It was delicious. And
that's like the probiotic stuff, right? Or no?
Yeah, the kombucha's like a
fermented something.
Yeah. So Dawn, that I used to commute with,
right?
She actually makes her own kombucha.
Yeah.
So we were at their house after our company picnic Saturday night, and she was like, "Oh, here's this. This is which kombucha, according to her, is like." It's like fermented sweet tea.
Okay.
So there's like sugar in it, and you put the microorganisms in there, and they do their thing.
It looks like cancer.
Well,
I want to say the pictures I've seen of it.
The kombucha that I've had doesn't have that. I mean, some of it, there is a little bit of stuff floating around there.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like your...
It's not the bubbles, boba.
No, yeah, there's some that looks like it's little seeds and shit. I won't drink that. That looks like I would just choke on it as it was going down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
not
regular
not
kombucha,
a bibless type of guy.
Not that stuff. But regular kombucha, it just has a nice, there's a carbonation quality to it.
Okay.
And a little bit of tartness, but with some nice flavor. It's really good.
And you threw vodka in it.
Yeah, at the...
to kick it up.
Well, it's funny because I met this chick at the Briar Patch, Karen,
right.
And I would buy these every once in a while, and she was, those are really good with vodka. She was right.
Respect the drip, Karen.
Yeah, she was right. They are very good with vodka. But my favorite flavor, they got rid of, so now, I don't know. I don't drink it that much anymore.
Won't.
Yeah, I've looked it up on their website. They had it on the website, and then now suddenly it's gone, and screw them, because that's the one I want. So much sadness. But anyways, I don't even know how we got on that. Oh, they have pomegranate kombucha too.
Yes.
But yeah, I love the flavor of pomegranate. Definitely.
Yeah.
But pom juice stuff is bugs.
I would take, my dad came down with like a flat of mason jars. I may have one. You're welcome to take one if you want it. They're behind the pineapple juice thing. They're sealed,
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, want some moonshine?
No, I'm not.
And I would just morning take like a shot of pomegranate juice and be like, yeah, good to go.
I love pomegranate.
Anyway.
Well, I hope he can do something with it because that's really cool.
So it was nice to see that, after the years of like absolute train wreck and the loss, to see that my dad's pasture had turned into, like, while it wasn't the wine, I think it was something that he had hoped it had, like, his end game kind of thing.
He was kind of ramping up for something that didn't happen because of a bunch of factors.
Right.
But now
he's there. And then I threw my
really
kids
cool.
under the bus for like next summer to totally come up and weed for him.
You're working.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you want something? And then on our way home, we stopped and had, Venus and I had Taco Tree.
Taco Tree. You didn't take the kids with you?
Fuck no.
Really?
And they're probably just finding out right now that we stopped at Taco Tree.
Oh,
and
that's
didn't get
hilarious.
Them shit.
We went, so Saturday was our picnic.
Yeah.
We went up, and because of a situation that happened with my wife a couple years ago, we stopped at the tree on the way to the thing, even though we were running behind, to get burritos and have some food in us. So when we got to the party and we were drinking, people weren't getting smashed on an empty stomach. Right. So we threw a couple burritos down on the way up the hill.
Yeah.
But, Taco Tree.
And then you threw the burritos out. Well, at least
No. So that one, I don't know if did I tell the story already?
Yeah.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the weirdest shit. Yeah, she just, she let him go. Yeah. Actually, at the taco tree. Because we stopped there on the way back, and she spewed in the taco tree parking lot.
Wah, wah.
That's why that one tree's dead.
Yeah, not surprising.
Yeah.
Like all the bark removed.
Yeah. Yeah, the one right when you're coming in the parking lot and the taco tree's on the left, the one on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. She pretty much killed that tree.
Dead as a doornail.
Yeah. It's been full of stomach bile in its roots.
That's not meant to help grow.
No, I don't care what plant
We're
you are.
at time.
Now?
Yeah, 107.
All right. Well, I guess we should
wrap that up.
Wrap it up. So
we didn't have to tell the embarrassing part where I've been on PTO so I can play video games.
Oh, that's terrible.
Hashtag I love video games.
Well, we should wrap this up so we can go pay somebody to get our kids in school.
Right.
You know, I've got a meeting.
Turns out my son is really good at lacrosse.
Even though he's never played.
Right. And Piper's on the chess team.
Yeah. Well, we're putting Millie
We're
putting Millie on the men's rugby team.
Oh, yeah.
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 She'll be a bench rider, but it doesn't matter.
Piper's on the men's fencing.
Men's fencing. Yeah, she really likes that.
Yeah.
She's really good at it from what I understand.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up, and we'll see you next week.
Next week.
Right?
Yeah.
On Wednesday?
Yeah. Same day.
Same bat channel. Same bat time.
Right.
All right.
With no Adam West.
Sadly.
All righty.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.